now that you can see me and hear me, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think we've got a few new people joining who haven't done it before. So what I want to say is, if you're returning from injury or if you're deconditioned, you might just want to watch the first 10 minutes right up until the part where we roll down. So you probably just want to do work standing up. If you've got a mat, you can roll it out. If you don't have a mat, you can just use the carpet or maybe a towel or something nearby. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing to say, you're exercising at your own risk. Listen to your body. Don't ever do anything that hurts. You don't want to feel stabbing, popping. And are you sure the video is not flashing in and out? I've blocked camera access. Retry. No, Peter, it's definitely not working. Peter! Sorry this is so rubbish, but Facebook Live has changed something. So my screen's flashing on this end. I've never seen all the options and things it's giving me before. I don't really understand. But anyway, I'm going to assume you can see me until you write in the chat that you can't see me. So thanks, Claire. Welcome, newbie Claire. You can see me and it's not flashing. So it's flashing for me. Nancy, welcome from America. Are you going to go ahead and join us, or Dan the man going, getting on board? Okay. So if you're new, you might just want to do the first 10 minutes. If you're more skilled, you can always work to a higher level. Hi, Margie, joining us from London. Okay, so Pilates is a great way to correct your posture, to protect your lower back, and to look better in a swimsuit, because you will, after this one session, look an inch taller and a dress size smaller. That's your guarantee. Okay, so I'm going to assume the screen is only flashing for me and not you. Go ahead and spread your Pilates mat out lengthwise, if that's okay. And there's 3 components to Pilates. The first is the posture, the second is the pelvic floor, and the last is the breathing. The first 2 are the most important. The third is really just optional. I don't care if you can do lateral breathing as long as you don't hold your breath. So go ahead and start your feet together like this, and then pull your toes into a V, pull your heels into a V, bend your knees nice and soft, tuck your tailbone under so that your tailbone's head is straight for the floor, and roll your shoulders up, back, and down. So this is your posture. The last part of the posture really is to pull your chin in and think about somebody pulling a string on the back of your head up in the air. So this will put your skull right over top of your spine, and this is good spinal health. So that's the posture. If you put your guns on your hips, you should be able to put your fingers down and shoot off your big toe. The second is the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is a hammock-type muscle from your front naughty bits to your back naughty bits. And you pull it up when you stop a pee-pee or walk into a pool of cold water, or think about Hugh Jackman or Charlize Theron, Halle Berry, Matthew McConaughey, whoever does it for you, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Basically, it's that feeling not of just stopping a pee, but pulling it up and in, okay? So we're going to breathe in through the nose to prepare. As you breathe out, I want you to stop a pee, level 1. Shh. Level 2, pull it up and in, the belly button comes to the level 3, knit your ribs together, your abdomen's tight. It's like I'm going to punch you in the stomach. Grip on, but don't squeeze your buttocks, and release. So 2 things probably happen there. Number 1, you stop breathing. Number 2, you tense up your buttocks. So really try and make sure that you're closing from the front and then lifting up and in. Breathe in to prepare. Keep the knees nice and soft. Level 1, stop a pee. Level 2, pull the pelvic floor up and the belly button to the spine like you're walking into a cold pool. And level 3, the ribs knit together. Everything's nice and tight. Keep breathing and release. Okay, so the good news is you are only engaging between level 1 and 2 here. It's the part where your belly button comes into the spine, it's like you're zipping up a pair of jeans, and that's why we call it zip and hollow. You're flattening your abdomen in, which brings me to the lateral breathing. Yoga or singing, we tend to do a deep diaphragm breathing where we breathe in and expand the abdomen. Pilates, it's almost exactly the opposite, okay? So put your fingertips on the outside ribs. Your fingers are maybe 1 or 2 inches apart. Pull your shoulder blades down and away from your ears. Breathe in deep and wide and expand the ribs, but don't let your shoulders rise. Breathe out through the mouth and try and close the ribs together and lift the pelvic floor. Can you get your fingers to breathe in and expand, shoulders down. Breathe out, close, and pull the pelvic floor up. So it's like a bellows. You're expanding this way, not up. Breathe in and expand. Breathe out and close. I'm going to do it one more time because I notice my shoulders rise. If you can do this in front of a mirror, even better. Expand. Close. Rise up to the ceiling. Feel the pinch between your shoulder blades and let your hands fall out to the side. That pinch, it's like you're holding a rose between your scapula, your little angel wings. Hold that there and let your hands relax. Okay, so what we've got here now is the perfect Pilates posture. We're pulling the wings together, but we're also pulling the ribs together. Okay, we're going to go ahead now and do an exercise called a if you've got a band at this point, you can hold it like this. I'm going to do it without the band so people know what it's like. But if you've got the band, you've got an underhand grip, okay? But everybody, pull your elbows into your waist. Fists are facing the ceiling. Knees are nice and soft, pelvis tucked under. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, close the fists, close the ribs, and lift the pelvic floor. It's a tiny movement. Inhale, leave the elbows glued to the waist. Rotate them out to the side with your wings touching together. Exhale, shoulders move away from the ears, down the back as we come to a T shape. Inhale, glue the elbows back to the waist. Fists face the ceiling, but you're pinching between your shoulder blades. Exhale, squeeze the ribs together, lift the pelvic floor. Inhale, rotate out using only those wings, elbows still in your waist. Exhale, shoulders move down the back. Fists rotate, come to your T shape. There may be a wee bit in front of a T shape. If you wiggle your fingers, you see them in your peripheral vision. Inhale, glue the elbows in, fist face the ceiling. Exhale, close, zip and hollow. Inhale, rotate out. Exhale, T shape. One more time. Inhale, glue the elbows into the waist. Exhale, zip and hollow. Inhale, rotate out. Exhale, T shape. Hold it here. Knees soft, pelvis tucked under, shoulders up, back, and down. I want you to try and just spread your wings apart and your fingertips float forward by a couple inches. Release to neutral. Now, watch your shoulders. Keep them down and away from your ears. Keep your ribs together. Exhale and squeeze those angel wings together. The fingers now come behind you. It's a tiny movement. It's entirely led by your scapula. Watch to the side. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Spread the scapula first and your fingertips float forward. Inhale, neutral. Exhale. Squeeze the scapula together. The fingers come behind you. Neutral. Don't let the ribs pop out though. Exhale, widen the scapula apart. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, squeeze the scapula together and your ribs stay buttoned. Don't let them pop. Return. One more time. Spread the scapula out and exhale. Neutral. Squeeze. Actually, I'm going to turn around and do it one last time. Spread the scapula. Return to neutral. Squeeze the scapula. Return to neutral. It's a tiny movement, but it's a powerful movement. I drop my arms, but hold your fingers back there, shoulders away from the ears, Fingertips, wiggle them. They're just in front of your peripheral vision. I want you to tuck your pelvis under, belly button to the spine, pick your rib cage up, and place it to the side. Pick your rib cage up, tuck the pelvis under, squeeze the belly button, place it down to the side. Shoulders away from your ears as you lift your rib cage up, place it to the side. It doesn't have to be far. Up and place it to the side. Just as far as it feels comfortable for you. Do it again. Place it to the side and hold it here. Really, before we do our pulses, press the far heel into the ground, okay? Belly button into the spine, tuck that pelvis under, and we're going to pulse all in one plane. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. If you can, keep going or stop when you want. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Press that far opposite heel into the ground. Bring your rib cage to me and an inch further out. If you can, stop if you feel uncomfortable. But if you can, bring your rib cage an inch to me and an inch further out. Last time. If you can, belly buttons to the spine, pelvis is tucked under, knees nice and soft, the rib cage comes and out. Press that far heel away, tuck the chin in, and release. Woo! So, what you should feel is this really uncomfortable burning in here. If you're feeling discomfort in your lower back, don't go as far. Other side. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Shoulders away from your ears as you come to your T shape. Wiggle them in your peripheral vision. Can you see them? Great. Pull that pelvic floor up and in. Lift the ribcage up and place it to the Now you can actually see my shoulders and hopefully they move all in one plane as we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep pulsing if you can or stop when you like. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. If it's uncomfortable, stop at any time or push the far away heel into the ground. Tuck the pelvis under, belly button to the spine, bring the ribcage to me and away. Tuck the pelvis under, rib cage to the spine, and bring it forward and out. Stop if it's uncomfortable. I see a couple comments. I'll come and check in a minute. Rib cage forward and to the side and release. Awesome. I forgot to mention at the beginning. Thank you, Pam Wallace, for pelvic floor engagement. For anybody out there of the Pam persuasion. If Gary Barlow's your cup of tea. I am every week. I wonder why that is. Okay, so that's your first exercise done. Hopefully it was burny, but not stabby. If you have any other questions, comments, just stick them in the chatter. Okay, guys? We're going to go ahead now and do our functional squats. That's the only exercise we're going to do before we roll down. I'm just going to keep it short. I know I started super late. I apologize. So, for functional squats, these the last 2 weeks, so if you've been watching my videos back, you should go ahead and have practiced them other than the 1 hour. Start with your feet together, pull your toes into a V, pull your heels into parallel, pull your pelvis under, knees nice and soft, roll your shoulders up, back and down. If you want to incorporate the bands, this is a point where you stand on it and you hold it. I'm not going to. In fact, for the first squat, I'm just going to let my hands fall to my knees, okay? Now, unlike a regular squat at the gym, we don't want to start by using our buttocks or our quadriceps. We want to use our belly button and our pelvic floor. So we inhale to prepare. As we exhale, we squeeze the pelvic floor up. Somebody puts a fish hook through our belly button from behind us, and they start to pull us back in as we sit down. Now, you don't have to come far. This is fine. If you're quite fit, you aiming to get your thighs parallel to the floor. You want to be able to wiggle your toes, so all the weight's in your heels, and then you want to pull that belly button up so there's no curve in your back. Pull the shoulders away from your ears. Look at the floor. Tuck the chin in. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Squeeze up and hollow and push through the heels to stand. Yes, I have been for a long while. That's okay. We won't do it as long this time. Inhale. Squeeze, zip, and hollow, and start to sit back. The belly button leads, and you hinge at the hips as you sit your toes in your heels, your arms float up by your ears, and you're a big straight arrow. Stop and inhale. Exhale, push from the hips to stand up. You can rise onto your toes if you like, but it doesn't matter. The arms come behind you. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze, zip, and hollow, and sit back. You can just go this far. It doesn't have to be all the way down as long as your back is nice and straight. Stop and inhale into the back of the ribs. The belly button's tight. Squeeze, zip, and hollow. Push through the heels as you push through treacle. Standing tall and squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, sit back. Inhale. Squeeze through the vajayjay. Push through the heels. Stand up if you like. Inhale. Last one. Sit back. Don't come far if you've got bad knees. If you don't have bad knees, come a bit further. We're going to pulse through the heels, but stop when it feels uncomfortable. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, keep going and wiggle your toes. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold, inhale. Exhale, stand up. Arms come behind you. Flat foot or toes, it doesn't matter. Pull your belly button in, fists go to the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, keep going, shoulders away from the ears, and 5, 4, 3, 2, squeeze. Tuck your pelvis under. Belly button to the spine, fists go to the ceiling. Shoulders away from the ears, squeeze it tight, fists go to the ceiling. Think about really straightening your elbows out and the fist goes straight to the ceiling. Release. Aren't we having fun yet? Claire Harvey, you thought Gary Barlow? Oh my, what a group we have. What a group we have. We need to have a mini group with depending on who's best for pelvic floor. I'm going to stick with Dwayne The Rock Johnson for me. Okay. Moving away, whatever works. Sometimes actually having to pee-pee helps you hold your pelvic floor up longer. So maybe there's that as well. We're going to go ahead now and roll down to 4-point kneeling. Okay, so if you've done this one before, it's super simple. This looks like this. You don't have to come far. You can, however, come a bit further if you like. Sorry that I'm not even wearing the Pilates clothes because I totally was chilling in my bed and thought it was about 6 o'clock. Find your Pilates posture. Pelvis tucked under, shoulders up, back and down. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze up and hollow first. Drop the chin to the chest. The shoulders roll up and away from the imaginary wall behind you. You can walk the fingers down the thighs if you like, but each vertebrae open. The belly button pulls to the ceiling, but the crown of the head pulls to the floor. And when you get to where you feel comfortable, shake your head yes and no. Let all the tension out. Yes and no, but your knees are soft. Your pelvic floor is lifted. You inhale into the back of the ribs. And as you exhale, you can lift the fingers up, but you must tuck the pelvis under completely before you restack any weight. Now imagine the wall behind you. Can you feel each vertebrae moving one by one by one? Finally, the shoulders melt down the back and the back of the head goes long. We don't look up. Now, it's a good idea to actually do this one against the wall. If you do, though, you need to move your feet about 5-6 inches away from the wall before you start, or it will push you over. It's quite funny. Pretend the wall's there because we really want to mobilize every single vertebrae that we've got. Let's do it again. Inhale. Squeeze, zip, and hollow. Drop the chin to the chest. Shoulders roll up and away from the imaginary wall. Fingers down if you like. Belly button pulls to the spine, the crown of the head. Stop here. You don't have to go far. where you feel comfortable. But the head is heavy and you can grab hold of opposite elbow, increase that stretch, belly button pulls to the ceiling as we shake our head yes and no. Let all the tension out, yes and no. Then inhale into the back of the ribs. Exhale, squeeze it and hollow. Tuck that pelvis under. Think about each vertebrae finding its home, one by one by one. Shoulders slide down the back of the head is long, and that is the last roll down we're going to do. So if you're suffering from injuries or deconditioned, this is a great place to stop for this week, and then you can practice that whole standing bit a few times until you feel ready and able to progress to the mat work. For the rest of us, we go ahead and step to the back of the mat because we're going to roll down and get into our 4-point kneeling. If you're super fit, you can always add a plank in here, but there's no need to, okay? We inhale to prepare. Squeeze the belly button in, belly button to the spine, drop the chin to the chest, shoulders and away from their imaginary wall. You can walk the fingers if you like, but the belly button starts to pull towards the ceiling and the crown of the head is pulling towards the floor. Stop where you feel comfortable, and you might want to grab hold of opposite elbows to deepen the stretch. Shake your head yes and no. Yes and no. When you're ready, you bend your knees, walk your hands out, plank in the middle if you like. If you're doing planks, remember that you have to tuck your pelvis under, so you're gonna you don't gotta, because we're really just going to tabletop position. So I think what we're gonna mix it up a little bit this week. Maybe we're just gonna do some push-ups to really practice really good push-up position. We normally do Superman angry cats or a moving cat this week, okay? So while we're here, I want you to pull your shoulders away from your ears. Have a look in between your legs. Are your knees underneath your hips? They need to be a good few inches separating them so your knees are directly under your hips. Then have a look at yourself in the mirror, if you can, or your video camera. Are your knees directly underneath your hips, and are your wrists directly underneath your shoulders? It's probably further in than you're used to. Last thing, do not let your back arch. We want to scoot the abs up, and we want to have a nice flat back like tabletop. Okay? Margarita rules apply. If we do some leg lifts or whatever, there's a margarita on your tailbone, so you always want to keep your hips level. So to do a Pilates push-up, we're just going to start super, super easy. I want you to inhale. The elbows are going to bend straight back towards your body, and you lower your head. Exhale, squeeze up and hollow, push through the heels of the palms, and come back up. If you've got bad wrists, you can roll up the end of your Pilates mat or use a second Pilates mat or a pool noodle. But we inhale, lower down. Squeeze the pelvic floor up. Squeeze the elbows into the body. Exhale, push straight back up. Now, if that's not challenging enough for you, you can walk your hands out, but try not, they're not going wide yet, okay? So you still want your wrists under your shoulders, and now your butt is flat. Stay in the tabletop if that's comfy for you. Inhale, lower the forehead to the mat. Exhale, squeeze it and hollow, come back up. Tabletop or this position, inhale, lower the elbows straight back, forehead to the mat. Exhale, squeeze it and hollow, and come up. We're just going to do 2 more. Pick your poison. If you are in the tabletop, you can always bring your forehead a little bit forward of your hands. Inhale, lower, forehead down. Exhale, squeeze it and hollow, press it up. Remember the movements coming from the vajayjay. So pull those shoulders away from your ears. Pull that belly button to the spine. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, squeeze up and hollow and push up through the heels of the hands. Lovely. That is your Pilates push-up. Put them to the outside of the mat. That was a tricep push-up. You Spread them out. They don't have to be fully outside the mat. The hands can be edge of the mat or just outside the mat. But what we want is to pull the shoulders away from the ears, and this time our elbows go straight back to form a W shape. So you're pulling them back and down. Inhale, lower down. W shape with your scapula. Exhale, push through the chest. Back up. Inhale, squeeze deep and hollow, pull the elbows back away from the ears. Exhale, squeeze deep and hollow, and come back up. We're only doing 6 of each, so if you want to come forward, you put the hands in front of you and tuck the pelvis under so it's nice and flat. You don't have to though. Inhale, W shape. Exhale, squeeze deep and hollow. You can almost through the elbows as you come up. If you're level 1, that's totally cool. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, squeeze deep and hollow, and come back up. Level 1 or level 2, totally up to you. If your knees start to hurt, stick a towel under there. Last one. Remember, your arms are wide. So as we lower down, your forehead can come in front of the hands if you like, but it's squeezing at the back. As you exhale, push through the last one. Squeeze the vajayjay. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, squeeze back up. Child's pose. So those are Pilates push-ups. The reason I didn't do level 3 today is because what you end up usually getting is a bum up here or a saggy bum down here. It's super hard, and we'll work our way up to a plank to keep the elbows in as you come down and keep your straight line. We'll work up to that. But before we do that, let's just do a couple bum exercises here, all right? So if your knees hurt, you can hang a child's pose for as long as you like, but it's a very short exercise. And you can put a second mat, a towel, whatever you like under your knees. And we're just going to do a short exercise. Back to your tabletop position. Shoulders away from the ears, belly button to the spine. We're going to have a look through between our legs and stretch your legs straight back without spilling your tailbone margarita. Okay, we're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift it straight up to hip height, not higher than hip height. Inhale, tap it outside your mat. Exhale, cross it over and tap it to the other side or beyond the other side. Inhale, tap it out. Exhale, across. We go. Speed the breath out, or we're doing a slow breath. Don't let those hips move. Just a rainbow. Last time. The hips, don't spill your margarita. Last time. Hold it straight out. So the foot is towards the ceiling. See how it's breathe? Peek through and make sure your knee doesn't drop below 90 degrees. Tiny to the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the abs, squeeze the butt, and tiny pulses. The heel is to the ceiling. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. Rotate the heel inward. Raise it higher. And release. Ease it off. These are tiny, tiny movements, but we really need to use the abdomen to stabilize the pelvis. A lot of people think, why am I not doing so many sit-ups or ab work? The whole of this session should be ab work. Okay, again, if your wrists are hurting, roll up your mat, get up, do what you got to do, and we're done. So peek through, shoulders away from the bottom of the spine, slide your toe to rest. Inhale to prepare. Don't spill your margarita. As you exhale, squeeze it in hollow and bring it to hip height, no higher. Inhale, tap to the outside of your mat. Exhale as you draw a rainbow to get to the other side of the mat. Okay? Inhale, rainbow outside the mat. Exhale, draw a rainbow and tap the other side. Inhale, exhale. Are your hips moving? Shoulders away from the ears, belly button to the spine. Don't let that mark go. Couple more. Last one. Extend it straight behind you. Shoulders away from the ears. Flex the foot and bend the knee 90 degrees. Peek through. Don't let it drop down below hip height as we do to the ceiling with the heel. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Shoulders away from the ears, belly button to the spine. Squeeze everything tight for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up. Don't let that heel sag. It's straight to the ceiling. Rotate it into the inside of the body and hold it even higher. Squeeze that butt. Squeeze the belly button. Ribs together. Shoulders away from the ears. Everything is tight. Really. Woo. It's a good one. Onto our abdominal muscles. Now's the time where I'm really wishing I had some water next to me, but I didn't prepare because I was running late. So if you've got water, drink water. If you've got a band, feel free to use a band. If you've got a dodgy lower back, feel free to use a folded up towel or yoga mat or whatever and tuck it underneath your tailbone. So that will just keep you from rolling too far back. If you've got really strong lower back and you've done this exercise with me before, you can stretch your legs out, but they're still in parallel. I prefer to keep a nice bend in my knees, roll your shoulders up, back and down, and sit nice and tall. Level 1, hold behind your knees. Level 2, hands out in front of you. Level 3, fingertips to the forehead. If you want to incorporate a band, you're super welcome to. I'll talk you through this so you can just join with me. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull your belly button to your spine and tuck your pelvis under and slouch down first to create a C shape. Then you roll backwards to where your tailbone's flat on the floor. It doesn't have to be far. Inhale into your wrist. Exhale, pull your front arm back and exhale to face me. Remember, you can hold on underneath if you like, or you can just exhale the other way. So level 1, you're holding on. Inhale, return. Level 2, away. Level 3, fingertips are to your forehead. Inhale. Last time. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, bring the forehead over the knees. The C shape. Scoop through to sit tall. So I didn't give my usual lecture on this one, Claire. So you might want to go back and watch last week's or the week before. But basically, you must slouch and create the C shape first, because if you try and lead from the shoulders, your abdominals will pooch out, and that is not the shape we want. We want to scoop them in and then roll. Okay, so let's do it. Your poison pen, you can go fingertips to the forehead. Anybody else? Anybody else joining us? If you're physically fit, go ahead and go to level 3. Inhale to prepare. Squeeze deep and hollow, C-shape the spine and slouch down first. Then roll from your belly button backwards. Stop when your sit bones are stable on the ground. Inhale to the back of the ribs. Twist from the ribs to face the front. Inhale, return. Twist from the ribs to face away. Inhale, return. Everything comes from the ribs like you're twisting a flannel. Inhale, return. That's why we do the wide open breath. Away. Last time. Inhale to me. Inhale. Exhale away. Return. Exhale, forehead over the knees. Scoop. And sit tall. So that is our reverse sit-up or C-shaped spine. And that is going to help us lead in the coming weeks to a sort of exercise where we roll down. But for right now, just lay down however you feel comfortable. We're going to do some knee floats and some toe taps. So you're laying on the floor. You've got your hip distance apart and your feet are maybe 6 inches away from your butt. And I want you to wiggle your fingertips underneath your lower back. You may or may not feel comfortable, but what you should feel is your tailbone's on the floor, your ribs are on the floor, but there's a little gap under your lower back. I want you to squeeze hip and hollow like we did at the beginning, but don't press into your fingertips, okay? So we inhale to prepare. Think about Gary Barlow. Exhale, stop a pee-pee. Think about Gary Barlow, belly button. Ribs knit together. Somebody's going to punch you in the abdomen, but don't press into your fingertips. Release. This is a really great exercise to do at home. You're trying to shorten the rectus abdominis and engage the transversus abdominis, but keep the neutral spine. Inhale to prepare. Pelvic floor up, belly button to the spine, ribs knit together, shoulders down, and don't press into your fingertips. Everything's tight. Release, okay? Hips, thumbs on ribs. This is your magic square, and you don't want it to move. So we keep the exact engagement that we just did. We inhale to prepare. Squeeze hip and hollow and float one knee to 90 degrees. So I want you to put your fingertips on your knee and just make sure that it's sitting straight over your hip. For most of you, you probably stop. Lower your toe so you make sure that it's low to the floor. Inhale to prepare. Don't let your hips move at all as you squeeze and hollow and lower it back down as carefully as possible, right where it started. Other side. Inhale. Squeeze hip and hollow. Your golden square doesn't move, so make sure you're completely stable before you start to lift that toe, that knee, rather. Fingertips on your knee to make sure it's over your hip. Almost feel like you're pushing it down into the hip socket, and then lower your so it's parallel. Inhale. Keep that 90-degree shape. Don't let your pelvis move at all as you slowly lower down. Okay, we're going to practice the double leg lift but in a second. But before we do that, when you're working, you work in neutral spine always, except when you've got both legs off, at which point, inhale to prepare, exhale, tilt the pelvis and ribs and the hips 1 inch together. You don't jam the lower back into the floor, but they come 1 inch together. This is called your imprint. When you're at the top, you may wish to move into this shape to protect your lower back. Some people have very strong lower backs and they don't need to, but that's the idea. Release back to neutral spine. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze hip and hollow first, and then float that knee. When you get to the top and you're sure that it's 90 degrees, inhale. Squeeze hip and hollow and start to raise the second leg. You can imprint if you like. And they're both at the top now. Inhale. And exhale, lower one slowly, slowly, slowly. Then lower the other. Slowly, slowly. Let's start with the other leg. Inhale to prepare. Squeeze hip and hollow and float one knee. Stop at the top and inhale. Squeeze hip and hollow, float the other to meet it. You can imprint if you like, if it helps. Inhale at the top and slowly lower, lower, lower. One, and then the other. Engaging the whole time. So that's a double leg lift, and we're going to combine it with a Pilates sit-up, which is a teeny, teeny, tiny movement. It looks like this. It's really tiny, okay? If you want to know why we don't do regular sit-ups, you can watch last week's video for my little mini lecture about how this is so bad for us in so very many ways. We don't want anything working bodies that is like basically a large muscle group that we normally work. We want to try and work the muscles that we're used to switching on. In order to do that, it means trying to actively switch off other muscles. So your hands are by your butt. And everything initiates from the pelvic floor. So I almost want to think of like the pelvic floor engages and it ripples up to nod your chin to the chest and initiate that rolling up. We inhale to prepare. Exhale. Pull the pelvic floor up, nod the chin to the chest, slide the ribs towards the hips as your fingertips move past your butt, away from your ears. Inhale at the top. Squeeze up and hollow and lower down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. You can cradle your fingers underneath behind your thumb behind your ear and the fingertips on the side of your head if your head's heavy. If not, I'd rather you stick the tongue to the roof of the mouth and try and turn off the neck engagement to try and support your neck that way. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, wide open mouth, nod the chin to the chest. Exhale, curl up. Think about your belly button flattening down and out like a frying pan, like you're holding a frying pan on your abdomen. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower down slowly. Vertebrae by vertebrae. If this hurts your head, like I say, try one or both behind your head. We never pull. We only support. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze up and hollow. Stay on your neutral spine. Chin to the chest and shoulders roll up. Ribs move towards hip. Stop at the top. Inhale and lower back an inch. Exhale, increase. One plane. Inhale, lower out, ease off. Exhale. Arms are like away from your ears, like they're holding. Couple more if you can. Really flatten the abs. Ribs move to hips. Last time. Inhale and lower, lower, lower. Option to combine them, but you don't have to. We're going to raise our legs first and do some toe taps. To raise the upper body or don't. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze up and hollow and float one leg to 90 degrees. At the top, we inhale. Option to imprint as you exhale and float the second one. We are now going to do some toe taps. If you feel like you want a particular challenge, we're going to roll up the upper body. Inhale. Exhale, chin to the chest. Roll up if you prefer, but you don't have to. We inhale, touch the toe to the ground. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lower that upper body at any time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Squeeze up and JJ. Last one. Inhale. And lower down. Hug the knees to the chest. Ease it off. If it hurts your neck, there's absolutely no problem doing it this way. Okay? You don't need to incorporate the upper body. And if that hurts too, you can just go right back to the single leg knee floats. It genuinely doesn't matter as long as this is working the whole time. Onto our abdominals, please. I said we were going to move to breaststroke this week. So let's go ahead and do that then. It's a little bit more complicated than searching for coral, but it's a really good one. So, any questions, comments? Everyone hanging in there? This seems like a new live format. I'm not sure how you can like do hearts and thumbs up anymore or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe next week we'll do a Zoom call. At any rate, we're going to lie on our stomachs with our legs to the outside of the mat. Okay? So your feet are like, toes are just on the outside of the mat. And before we do anything, I want you to lie down with your forehead to the mat and think about somebody trying to drive a small car under your belly button. So press your hips into the ground and think of your belly button pulling up to the ceiling and somebody trying to drive a little baby car. Of course they can't, but just think about it that way. So before we begin, we're going to do a couple baby cobras. Baby cobra is much, much smaller than yoga. It's literally like 2 feet off the ground. Leave your hands down for the first couple, and I'll talk you through it. For you, you're looking at the mat. Your forehead's on the mat. Your hip bones are pressing down, your belly button's pressing up. As you inhale, pull your shoulders away from the ears, send the nose an inch along the mat, and then squeeze your shoulder blades to come to your hover, belly button tight. Tuck the chin in, inhale at the top. Exhale, pull on the floor and try and grow an inch taller. Lovely, try it again. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze deep and hollow, nose moves an inch along the mat, then shoulders down the back to your hover, tuck the chin in, everything's nice and long. Inhale at the top. I'm trying to grow an inch taller. Option to lift the hands when I tell you. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze it and hollow, nose comes along the mat, squeeze the shoulder blades down, come up to your hover, tuck the chin in, option to take the hands away into that W shape we did at the start. Inhale, exhale, slowly lower down. For the stroke, we're going to spread all our limbs out and come into a hover, then to a dart. Then we dive forward and lower down and come back to our dart. That's how it's a breaststroke. But if you've got a dodgy lower back, there's nothing wrong with leaving your legs on the ground for the whole time and just engaging the upper body. When I say lower down, I don't mean touch the ground. If you are using your legs, if you are using your arms, I want them to skim the ground, near the ground, but not rest. Okay, as soon as you rest, you've lost your engagement. At the end, we have the option to hold the dart and move side to side. Again, if you've got a lower back issue, drop the legs or drop it out altogether and just chill. I'll talk you through it. Inhale to prepare. Squeeze the and hollow and all your limbs grow long. Exhale, come to your hover. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, legs come together, arms down by your side. Inhale, lower down as the arms slide up and dive forward. Legs spread out. Exhale, back to your dart. The legs don't have to touch, but you get the idea. Inhale, lower down, the legs spread out, the arms dive forward. Exhale, dart. Inhale, lower down, arms dive forward, dart. Inhale, dive forward into the chest, dart. Two more. Inhale, dive forward, dart. Last time. Inhale, and exhale. Hold it here. If you want to join me, pull the shoulder blades down the back. The toes are pulling away from you. Tuck the chin in. Inhale. Move your fingertips 2-3 inches down one side. Inhale, straighten. Hips don't move down the other side. Straighten. Belly button to spine. Move your fingers down one leg. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, other side. And straighten. Last time. Straighten. Straighten. Hold it here. Tuck the chin in. Raise your fingers down both legs. That engagement. Toes are pulling away from you. Belly button to the spine. Fingertips down the thighs. Slowly release. Oh, my. I felt that. I hope everybody else is alive. We're going to go ahead and do some open books. I think I need them. And open books are one of our favorites. You can use a throw pillow or another mat or foam blocks, whatever you like. Place it on the mat. You can use your band if you've got one by holding it in between your hands. But what we want to do is lay in a recovery position, which I think I need right now, with our ankles in line with our hips, in line with our shoulders. So our knees are about 45-degree angle. Then I want you to pull your shoulder blade down your back, away from your ear. Imagine somebody pulling your waist in and up into the air. And at the same time, they stay your hips with a metal spike. So your hips never roll backwards. Our hands are stacked one on top of the other. Inhale, the fingertips come towards me. Exhale, the eye gaze follows the fingertips as we paint a rainbow across the sky and open our book. Face forward, we inhale into our armpit. Exhale, button the ribs together first. Belly button pulls to the back wall. As you initiate the movement and then reach towards me, reach, 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 and then restack your hands. So belly button stays to the spine, hips stay facing forward. Inhale, slide the top fingers away. Exhale, open your book. Gaze follow the fingertips. Stop where you feel like you might roll backwards. Inhale into your outer armpit. Exhale, waistcoat and or vest, depending on what country you're from. And then pretend like I'm pulling your fingers toward me or towards the front so you can reach further than you've ever reached before. It's fine if you're slower than me or faster, but ideally slower. Inhale, last time, top fingers away. Exhale, open that book. And stop and inhale. Squeeze the ribs together to close. Belly button to the spine. Reach, 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 reach towards me. And then you restack. Next, we're going to do some clams. So you can leave the pillow there or get rid of it, whatever. Put your hand underneath. I don't care. But we want to feel the muscle. If we put our fingertips sort of an inch in front and an inch lower than your hips, some of us might have some padding to go under, but you should feel a little muscle there as we inhale to prepare. Pull that pelvic floor up and open the knees. And don't want you to use the butt. I want you to use the pelvic floor. Inhale, close the knees. Squeeze the knees together now and open the ankle towards the sky. So almost press your top knee into your bottom knee and close. So your hips are totally stable. They don't move. Exhale, open the knee. Do you feel that muscle working? Inhale, close. Exhale, squeeze, lift the ankle. Open the knee. Close the knee. Open the ankle. Close the ankle. Again, knee, ankle. Close. Ankle. Close. Okay. And we're going to stretch nice and long so you can lose the pillow or you can keep it or whatever. But I want you to have your neck in an awkward angle. Nice long line from our fingers all the way to our toes. You can have the hand in front of you for extra stability. Pull that shoulder away from your ear. And you can bend the underneath leg for even more stability. Okay? Or you can work to the advanced level. Point that toe, lift it long and away as we go just to hip height. Use your pelvic floor to flex the toe back towards you and crush a Coke can down. Point that toe, lift it long and away. Flex it. Crush a Coke can. Point that toe as you inhale, somebody's pulling it on a string, and you resist the string back, and you squeeze it and hollow to crush it down. A couple more. Point that toe, lift it away, flex it, squish it down. Last one. Point that toe, long and away, and our whole leg becomes a pencil. So don't wobble your knee or your ankle. All the movement comes from the hip, and we go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You might want to put the hand in front of you because we're going to flex the foot. It comes in front of us, and we go inhale, inhale, point it behind us. It doesn't have to be a big movement. It can be, or you can aim to go for parallel. Snip, exhale, all in one plane. We go, very hard to do without your hand in front of you. In fact, I can't. Last time. We go, hold it behind us, flex the foot, tiny pulses of the ankle to the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Rotate the toe to the floor if you can. Tiny pulses of the heel to the ceiling. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Lift it a tiny bit higher, but tuck the pelvis under. Belly button to the spine. Pull the pubic bone forward and lift the heel to the sky. Last time. Zip and hollow, pelvis under, and squeeze that buttock and release. And we only have one more side. And that's your Pilates accomplished. How are you feeling? It's really hard on this new version of Live. I've never used it before, but I can't see who's here. I can see who's commenting, but I can't see. So, and I don't want to mess around with it. Keep going and get the other side done. Anybody with questions or comments can go. All right. Open books, clams, and sideline theories. Not long now, people. Almost there. So lay on your side, pillow, yoga mat, foam roller, whatever it is under your head to get your head in a nice natural alignment. Your feet are in line with your hips, are in line with your shoulders, one straight line. So that means your knees are about 45-degree angle. Pull your top shoulder down and away from your ear. Imagine that somebody's pulled your abdomen in and up into the air, and at the same time, they've spiked a stake into these hips. So the hips cannot roll back. Inhale, slide the fingertips toward me. Exhale, eye gaze follows the fingertips as you open your book and trace a rainbow across the sky. Stop where you feel like you might rotate backwards and inhale into your outer armpit. Ribs first. Belly button to the back wall. And start to reach to tap further down than when you left the ground. 2 more. Inhale, slide the top fingers along the floor. Exhale, eye gaze follows the fingertips, hips face forward, and open that book. Stop and inhale into outer fuel. Exhale, button the waistcoat. Close to the back wall. And reach, reach, reach like I'm pulling your hand towards me before you restack. Last time. Inhale, slide the top fingertips away. Exhale, open that book. Stop and refuel. Exhale, button the vest. And I'm pulling your fingertips. I'm reaching. You're reaching further than you've ever reached before. Tapping down. Lovely. Time for the clams. Fingertips about an inch in front and an inch down where your hips are. Try and feel your transversus abdominals engaging. We inhale to prepare, but nice and loose. It's the pelvic floor that lifts, engages, and opens your knee. Feet stay together. Just inhale, slowly lower down. Now glue your knees together and just lift the ankle. Rotate down. Try not to let the hips move though. Exhale, open the knees. Squeeze and lower. Inhale, open the ankle. Inhale and lower. Couple more. Really is this muscle opening it. You can almost feel underneath your belly button too. No matter how much you've eaten this week, and I know for me it's a lot. Open the knees. And open the ankle. And release. Stretch nice and long from our fingers all the way to our toes. Remember to pull that shoulder away from your ear. Lift the abdomen in. So the ribs are on the ground, the hips are on the ground, but feel like your waist is lifting up. If you need more stability, hand in front of you. Even more stability, bend the underneath leg to 90 degrees. If not, keep it nice and long. Inhale, our toe moves away from us, not up. And we flex to pull it back, toe back towards us, and squish a Coke can between our ankles. We point that toe as we inhale, think away from you, not up. Then think about flexing it back and crushing it down. Inhale, it goes just above hip height. It's a lot lower than a lot of other movements, but use your vajayjay to pull that toe back towards you and crush it down. Apologies, menfolk. Point that toe and lift it long. You know what I mean. Flex and crush. Couple more. Point that toe. Inhale and lift long. Flex it. Crush. Last time. Point that toe. Flex and lift long. Flex it. Crush it down. And on this, we point the toe and it lifts away from us and our whole leg becomes a pencil. So don't move your ankle, don't move your knee. Everything's from the hip as we do tiny circles on the wall. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold it here. Flex the foot. You probably want to put your hand in front of you. We're going to bring it in front of us and go pull. Flex it all in one plane behind us. We're going to flex it forward and go. Exhale just behind us. We're going to flex it. Doesn't have to come far though, guys. It can just be here. Hold it behind us. Flex the foot. Tuck the pelvis under. Tiny pulses to the ceiling with the ankle. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Rotate the toe towards the foot. The heel goes to the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, hold it here. Tuck the pelvis under. Bring the heel an inch back and an inch up. Really pull that pelvis under and take the heel back and up. I think we've got one more. Pull the pelvis under, bring it up, and squeeze the blood into that butt cheek, and then release. And bend. So I think it's almost time to be done, but let's go ahead and do a couple mermaid stretches to stretch it out. If you don't like it or it doesn't feel comfortable, don't do it. But we did it last week, I think. Fishtail here. Plant your hands on the rock. We're just going to lift the hips up. We're going to sweep the arm up and send the hips towards the sky and just get a nice stretch. Let's sit back on our. Two more. Make sure the hands right under the shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. And sit back down. We have an option at the top, but you don't need to take it. Inhale. Sweep it up. Hips to the sky. Option to stretch the top leg out and just push into it. Nice stretch. Thank you all for joining me. I'm sorry I was so late. Sit with your fishtail on the other side. Hand underneath your shoulders. Inhale. Sweep hips towards the sky. You don't even have to come as far as me. I just like to get this nice stretch in the waistline. We worked a lot of waistline today. Inhale. Sweep it up. Exhale. Hips to the sky. It's like a beautiful mermaid, and it's so much easier than a yoga mermaid. And last one. Inhale. And at the top, option to slide the top leg out and just push into it. I just love it. It feels so good. And we're going to go ahead and roll up to standing like we did at the beginning. I don't really care how you do it as long as you go slow and we restack each vertebrae like we did at the start. I like to tuck my toes under and send my weight on my Achilles heel. But if you've got bad knees, this might not feel comfortable. I like to open up my toes and then send my heels to the ground. Anchor our feet a lot. Maybe next week we'll do some more ankle work. When you're ready and in your own time, we're going to roll to standing, okay? So I like to start like we did at the beginning by shaking my head, yes and no. All the tension out, yes and no. And then think about tucking that pelvis under, belly button to the ceiling. You can walk the fingers up if you like, but the chin is to the chest. The crown of the head is heavy, and each vertebrae finds its own spot. You can keep walking the fingers up if you like, but eventually the shoulders will pull down the back, and the last thing will be the top of the head. A string or your ponytail is pulling you up to the ceiling. And then we're just going to go ahead and sweep up as we take a big inhale. And as we exhale, we grow an inch taller. So really just think about filling your lungs with air, and then your shoulders melt down and the crown of your head floats to the ceiling. Last time. Give yourself applause and a virtual high 10.